What is good, YouTube? How are we doing? It's your boy Aziz, rhymes with disease. I hope everybody's doing good on this lovely Thursday morning because it is 2:30 in the morning. I just got back from the gym and I had a great session, and I just had to hop on here to honestly start something new that I've wanted to do, and another thing that's going to allow me to stay consistent with the YouTube videos because it has been a little while since I uploaded. Apologies for that. Last week was definitely a week of slacking. I'll be honest, I was not consistent with a lot of the things that I wanted to do, especially the content creation and the gym, but I was very consistent with going to, well, not going, but posting my YouTube videos, not even YouTube videos. I mean posting my TikToks. So in the link of this video and in my description of my YouTube channel is my TikTok. Be sure to follow me on TikTok. Be sure to follow me on Instagram because you get more of that relatable content and more of that motivational videos to help you with mindset and to help you get to where you want to be. But overall, I just wanted to get on here and, just talk to you guys. It's definitely been a couple days since I've made another video, and at least right now, I'm at a point where I can definitely say I've tried enough things where I know where I want to go and where I know I want to put the direction of this YouTube channel. I definitely know, and I've come to the realization that I'm not like most people. The way most people do their YouTube channels with the fancy edits and all that, I'm not really the type to do that. I like to keep it simple. I'll do a few edits here and there as you've seen in my other videos, but for the most part, I like to keep it simple and just talk, because at the end of the day, the value you're going to get from this channel is going to be from what I say and the experience that I share with all of you. As you all know, if you haven't watched any of my previous videos, I am 25 years old. I currently work as a restaurant manager. I am a college student, but I've been taking a 2-year hiatus, and I will be returning in the fall semester to finish out my degree. I am currently going for a finance degree. Well, it's an STS, Science, Technology, and Society degree, but with a minor in finance, because I plan to pursue a career in finance for the foreseeable future. That being said, unless my content creation is able to blow up in a way that allows me to make more money from this than I would in a career, I see myself not only continuing the content creation journey, but also having my career in the financial space. Because me personally, I've always wanted to be a doctor. I've always loved helping people. But at the same time, I've worked in a hospital, a regular medical hospital, and I've also worked in a psychiatric hospital. So with my understanding, I've been able to see and get the different perspectives of working in those two different areas, which they both are the healthcare field, but they pertain to my particular interest, which is helping a lot of people, and I particularly love psychology. In my opinion, psychology is the best subject for most people to learn because it allows you to understand not only yourself, but it allows you to understand other people better. Because when it comes to understanding others better, the key to understanding people is to not agree with them or like what they do, but it is just to understand and try to make sense of why they do what they do. It's not for you to agree with it, because at the end of the day, there are many times where you'll see people do certain things that you do not agree with, but the point is to really try and understand why they do what they do, not to agree with it. Because the more you try to agree and or force someone to act a certain way, the more challenges and the more combative you'll get with them, because at the end of the day, most people don't like being told what to do. I'm definitely one of those people who can confidently say I don't like being told what to do. That's why, for the most part, I like to do my own thing. Another reason why I'm taking this YouTube channel and doing my own thing. I've tried copying other people, but I've seen how that doesn't really work. And I really want to grow in my own unique way, putting out the content that I feel comfortable with and doing what is going to make me happy with what I've been able to put out. So that's why I'll still do the thumbnails as you've seen. I'll still do some edits here and there, posting certain things. But for the most part, I'm going to try and just get out as much content as possible to not only grow the channel, but to show everybody what they need to do to get to where they want to be. At the end of the day, one thing that I always preach and that I've learned since starting both content creation and my fitness journey is that you need to be consistent. Regardless of how you feel, regardless of what's going on in your life, and regardless of what challenges come up, you need to stay consistent. And that's something that definitely rang a bell in my ears and in my head the last week, especially as I was inconsistent with posting the YouTube videos and my gym sessions. For me personally, I don't know about a lot of guys, but I'll be very vulnerable and honest that I am sick and tired of not being the most attractive version of myself and not being able to get the women that I find attractive. I'm someone who has never had a girlfriend, never been in a relationship, and I've also never really had many of those experiences that a lot of young men have growing up when it comes to going on dates or being around girls that they like. I've seen how me personally trying to get a girlfriend has proved more useless than useful, in the sense that I've always seen myself trying to convince the girls that I like as to why they should date me versus meeting girls and just building that natural connection and or attraction, and if it works out that way, pursuing a relationship. I definitely need to understand, and a lot of guys need to understand, that you cannot force a relationship. I already knew that I could not force a relationship, but if a girl has already shown that she doesn't like you, there's no point in leaving her alone, waiting a month or two or a couple months, then going back again and trying to see if she'll date you. She's already made that sign very clear from the first time you tried to approach her that she isn't interested. So realistically, the only way to really get a girl who has shown she doesn't have interest in you is to let her come back and circle back, as you've heard, and try to get your attention. And the best way to do that is what I'm doing: building yourself up both in the gym and with a skill set that you'll be able to monetize, but also not focusing on women. And what I mean by that is, if you're someone like me who really wants to get a girlfriend and or make yourself the most attractive version, you need to focus on doing the things that will make you attractive versus focusing on the end goal, which is chasing the women because you feel you're attractive. For example, if you're somebody who wants to look physically better, both in the face and in the body, you need to focus on doing a routinely skincare or hair care plan daily and nightly. That, along with going to the gym, you need to do the things that will allow you to improve on yourself and make yourself attractive. Because if you know you're lacking in certain areas, such as the gym or anywhere else, like being able to look good both skin wise or have good hair, you need to put in the effort to increase your looks in those areas. No, it's not going to happen over time, overnight, but over time, as you do it day by day, you will see the improvements. Even I have seen the improvements. But the one thing you have to do is stay consistent, because unless you are consistent, unless you're doing these things day by day, you will not see those little changes that will transform you into the person that you want to be. And that's one thing that I'm focusing on very much when it comes to the gym. I'll be very honest. I started my fitness journey in June of 2024. I have been inconsistent. I have been very inconsistent with my fitness journey, but I have also still seen myself make strides and improvements that I never thought possible. So that's why it's important, especially with how I feel now, knowing that I really do want to become the most attractive version of myself to be able to get the girls that I want. It's very important that I become very selfish with my goals. It's very important that you that I'm looking at and you that's watching this video become very selfish with your goals. If, for example, you're like me who wants to get into the content creation space and or look more physically attractive, you need to be very selfish with those goals and focus on those goals. Anything else that's going to hinder those goals or stop you from doing those goals, you need to cut them out completely. And I'm saying this in the nicest way possible, because that's the only way. I've seen how me trying to do other things and or keep those bad habits that I still have while also making the improvements in the areas that I want to make improvements in does not work. You need to focus on the improvements and cut out the bad habits. A lot of you, and including me, we all have bad habits that are keeping us from reaching our potential. You're still smoking weed too much. You're still vaping nicotine way too much, and you should not be doing either of those because those are carcinogens. You, as a human being, are not supposed to be inhaling smoke into your lungs. That is not what we are built to do. A carcinogen is anything that is smoke. So, hookahs, nicotine vapes, weed, pens, and weed itself, we are not supposed to be inhaling those into our body because our body is not made to do those things. On top of that, the alcohol, the excessive amount of alcohol that people my age and older drink is very bad for the body. You may not realize it now because you're young and you don't feel those effects because your organs are still healthy, but as you do these activities weekend after weekend, day after day, month after month, you will accumulate all those bad side effects within your body, and you will see how just one day your body will shut down and you will start to face all the consequences from your earlier days being young and choosing to party and live your life instead of being very self-conscious about what you need to do to get to where you want to be. So if you're somebody like me who struggles with women and wants to become basically the best version of yourself, and you have a lot of aspirational goals, whether it's starting a business, getting a girlfriend, becoming the most attractive version of yourself, you need to be very selfish with your goals. The only way to get to where you want to be is to quite literally, and I even tell this to my older brother, is to say to yourself in the mirror, look in the mirror and tell yourself you are 100% sick of this. I am telling you this because I am being very vulnerable, and these are the type of videos that I'm going to make. I am 100% sick of not being attractive. What I mean is I'm sick of not being the best and most attractive version of myself. I am attractive, I'm not ugly, and I know that, but at the same time, I can become more attractive. I can become more physically fit, and there are things that I can still do to level up. So I am personally tired of not being that person who is at the pinnacle of himself because he's done what he's need to do for the past couple years and months religiously and diligently. So that's why, including this YouTube video, every single time, and the new plan is to be able to record YouTube videos after I go to the gym while also staying consistent with my TikToks and my fitness journey, because in order to get to my goals, the goals that I have, I need to be very selfish with all the things that I have to do. I need to make sure that I'm doing them for myself and that I'm doing them the way that I want to in order to get to the goals that I personally have. I do have a lot of goals, and I know that I want to be somebody who is a great example to the men who are like me, who are very skinny, but dream of becoming the best version of themselves. For the guys who are like me, who have been nice all their life, but unfortunately have not been treated well by either the people around them or the women that they've liked, I'm here to tell you that you can 100% change that. You can change that outcome. You can make them all jealous, but it all starts with you. I'm saying this because I've come to the point where I know that I want to be better than everybody else. I know that I want to be better than every man out there. And even if I don't end up being it, I still have that mindset. So it's going to push me to be better than I am today. That's why I went to the gym after I got out of my 9 to 5 at 11 p.m. And I'm just now getting back home at 2:47 a.m. I am at the point where I'm cutting out any and all distractions to get to my goals. I've had a lot of people come into my life in the last year who have shown me that the hard work that is necessary to get to where I want to be is well worth all the hardships, all the risks, and anything that needs to be done to get there. So it's very important that you, as a man who's watching this video, you do the exact same thing. Write down all your goals, and you need to be very selfish with them. Anything that's going to stop you from getting to those goals, you need to cut it out, and you need to get them out of your eyesight, because you have potential. I have potential. So it's time for us to not waste it. I'll catch you guys on the next video. Peace out.